All right, hi guys. So today I'm going to show you how to make our zombie strawberry or something like that from our book Bites of Terror. Right now, you're going to see my head going back and forth because I am also streaming live on YouTube for our friends who aren't on Instagram. Hey Brad, welcome. So if you see me going like this, it's because I'm saying hello YouTube, hello Instagram. All right, so let's get started on materials. So this is the version that I'm going to show you how to make. So every year for SPX, I do a workshop based on our latest release typically. So I've done a workshop for Sweet Competition and Sweet Success. So this year, since this would have been the year for us to have Bites of Terror out, I wanted to do a character based on our first story in the book, One More Swim. So if you don't know about Bites of Terror, it's a fun horror anthology full of food humor. This is the actual guy from the set, my YouTube folks, my Instagram folks. And so typically I try and take it and make something where you can find these materials at home. It's a fun craft you could do with the family. And so let's just go through the materials real quick. And let me turn you guys, my little Instagram family, hi. I'm going to turn you guys this way so then I'm not back and forth. I'm already like, gotta pull the hair back. We're getting hot in here. Okay, so I am just using some Model Magic. This is air dry clay. The reason why I use this is because to make our guys, you have to have an oven that's specifically for your clay, or at least I recommend that. I don't think you should have toxins in an oven that you cook your food. So it's just easier. If you want to go more advanced, then definitely try this with Primo. So this is the base. And then for the eyes, I'm taking googly eyes, but I'm going to flip them around and use the back, the whites of the eyes, so it's a little bit spooky. And then for the limbs, in here I use floral wire, which I found to be like a little too strong. So I am using just a little pipe cleaner, which I heard recently that, oh, hey, Room, my sky, hello! Which I think nobody calls them pipe cleaners anymore. Maybe I'm showing my age. I forgot what they call them. I think it's something fun like swirly sticks or something. If you know, say it in the comments and then I'll use that moving forward. But so I did a modified version of a pipe cleaner where I took just a glue stick, something really simple that you should have at home, and then I just ran it across the pipe cleaner so that I could kind of like take the fuzzies off. So it's a little bit more like a solid limb, kind of like how our guys are. So they don't have hairy arms. Although you could do hairy arms if you like want that look. The only thing is that you might get some fuzzies on your clay. So yeah, that's why I did the glue, to kind of help secure it. Oh, hello, Barb. Welcome. The other thing that you'll need is some toothpicks. I hope you all have toothpicks at home. This is what I use in place of my typical needle tool. So, this is what you can get at a craft store or an art store, but, really just use what you have around at home. This is just to add texture and in some parts, a little bit of support. And a little bit of cotton, of course, because a zombie strawberry would be moldy. So we're going to do that. And I'm going to do something. We're going to do this live on the fly. But I'm going to use my pastels to kind of give that mold a little bit of like a grimy look. So you can see it on our original guy. It's got like a little green there. I used a little bit of paint and pastels to get that look. It's just nice to add a little bit of extra texture so you're not just all white, but you could stick with white, whatever you want. Hello, Rick. Welcome. Oh, I'm so excited to have Rick. He was one of our editors on the book. So yay. Thank you so much for checking it out. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to angle the camera down some. But before I start, let me just take a sip out of my beautiful Heidi Kenny mug. She is a wonderful artist, and if you love all things Halloween, then go check out Heidi Kenny. Look, when I take a sip, you see her logo. I'll just do that one more time. It's probably upside down, but go check her out. I love her. She has had a sale, and it sold out in 13 minutes. So whenever she has a sale, just make sure you get there fast. Okay, let's angle it down. Move the precious book out of the way. Let's get started. Oh, and if you have any questions, I know, Rick, that mug. Seriously, I have so much of her stuff. She should go check her out. I'm so happy that she is doing so well doing mugs. She did fabric stuff for a long time. Okay, so YouTube friends. Okay, hopefully make sure you don't get in the way of our Instagram friends. And let's see if we can share the screen. Okay, I'm gonna put our little samples here so you can kind of see what we're making. Sorry, YouTube friends, you can't see the zombie strawberry, but know that I love you and I care that you can't see it. Let's go ahead and start with the shape of the body. So I think because the eyes are so huge, those are gonna be pretty big eyes. We're gonna go big with this one. We're gonna have a humongous buff. Since One More Swim is obviously about swimming, we're just gonna say like Olympic size strawberry swimmer. If you have read the book, or if you haven't, I'm just gonna quiz you. Like, can you guess what strawberries would go swimming in? I'd love to know your thoughts. And then if it's something that I didn't already think of, then I'll say, can I use that in a future joke? Thank you. All right, so I'm just shaping it with my hands. I love Model Magic because it's really easy. It's forgiving. If you're going to use something like Primo, which is what we use for our sculpts, then you would have to do a lot of conditioning. Every Tuesday, I do a live where most of the weeks I'll work with clay. Here you go, my YouTube friends. And you'll sit there sometimes if I'm not prepared, you'll see me conditioning it for a good minute or two, which is very boring, but I promise you, I keep talking, so keep it interesting. So here we go. We got our basic shape. You can use the table to help you out some, YouTube friends, Instagram friends. So let's go ahead and add a little bit of texture, just those little like strawberry divots with our toothpick. Here we go. And just go, get as many as you want on there. I feel like if you do too many, then it kind of makes it look a little bit different. So I just did a little bit. And, let's go around where there are less creases. But if you have creases like that, just take the time to use your fingers, smooth it out some. There you go, YouTube friends. And let's go ahead and add the top. So if you have green clay, then go ahead and use green clay for your leaves. Or if you are like me today and you only have one color clay, then go ahead and put it on there and then paint it later if you want. So I'm just making my little leaves, taking it, rolling it into a snake, roll, and then flattening and pressing it down. Really? Oh my gosh, everyone. Rick just shared a fun fact where strawberries are the only fruit that have the seeds on the outside. Wow, I wonder what that says about strawberries. Rick, you're good at jokes. Tell us a joke. What would be a good strawberries on the outside joke? I feel like you already have one that you've written in our saying wherever in your house right now. Okay, so here we have just, if you want them green, get some green clay. If you want to paint them green later, you can. I'm just using the side of my toothpick to add some texture, just basic lines. I try and keep my sculpts pretty simple. I'm going to go ahead and use my toothpick as my armature. I don't know why I want to put in quotes because it is actual armature. Typically, I use wire. That's probably why. And if you are working with kids, then I would suggest not using toothpicks or just taking something and just cutting off that sharp edge. Whenever I do workshops for kids, they always want to put the toothpicks in their sculptures, and I'm like, "Woo! Don't go running with your, your sculpture. You might want to put some clay on that." Because I'm like, I don't want to be responsible for you. You poke your eye out, kind of thing. But I think it's really cool how intuitive kids can be, knowing a lot of times that you need to add that structure in there. So that's just our basic shape. All right, we got our little red strawberry. So let's go ahead and put the eyes in there. Now you could go googly eyes, but I'm gonna go with the back side of this so that we kind of have that zombie look. Ooh, I like it. This is gonna look extra cartoony. Okay, when you're working with googly eyes, you wanna put them in there like really deep, really, really, really deep. Okay, there you go. And then let's see here. What kind of expression does this guy have? Ugh. Okay, so we'll go ahead and let me give you guys some light, YouTube. Sorry, it's so dark for you. Let's go ahead and give him a crazy. Right, that's the one thing about Model Magic. It's nice because it's air dry, but also, you know, the more you hold on to it, the harder it is to keep your shape. So just be really careful and hold on to it. So there you go. There you go. If you want to as well, which we'll have to do this eventually anyways, you can always put a toothpick at the bottom and then hold on to that so then you're not squishing in your piece too much. Okay, with your eyes, you want to kind of push them in there like little sockets because they will come out. And if you're doing it at home, you could always glue them in there later. So there you go. And then let's go ahead and add in our little mold. So I'm taking my toothpick and I'm just putting a hole in there. I'm pulling off my mold, which is just cotton, just a cotton ball that you can use. I'm gonna put it on the end of my toothpick and I'm gonna stuff it in there. There we go. So then it just stays in there. Let's do a little bit more. And I'm gonna add the chalk on afterwards because I don't want to get the body all gross yet. I might do that later just to see what it looks like. Then we're getting moldier. This is a great craft to do right around Halloween. I just think it's nice to put a little bit of it on the top. Woo. You know what's great is that since they're a zombie, you're like, if it gets misshapen, then you can always be like, oh, it's because he's like half dead. So, oh, you look like a happy zombie now. Okay, we'll fix your mouth later. There you go. So we're getting a little bit more in here, and I'm gonna do just a little bit in the back because we're working with sculpture. So we're gonna go like 360 angle here. A little bit in the back, maybe enough that you can see from the side. We are gonna have to do some touching up here. That's what I'm saying about the eye. Maybe he could lose an eye. Go in. There we go. Ew. Ew. All right. And let's see, I'm going to go ahead and do my pastels. So the way that I add like a little bit of color to our sculpts is I use chalk pastels. And I'm going to play around with a little spray bottle here. I'm going to spray a little Q-tip with water so I can get it nice and wet. I think I'm spraying my computer and all the chalk. That's going to be fun. And I want to pick, I'm going to pick like a gray. So I'm wiping the chalk and then, yeah, look at that. Look at that. Just adding a little bit of color. And by getting it wet, you're helping it stick. You're helping to make sure you don't get too much on there. And putting this on afterwards, I mean, I think you could do it either way. Putting it on afterwards kind of might help you prevent getting the gray on your actual sculpt. So just rub it in there. You know, I just want like a little bit. Let's do like a little bit of brown. Yeah. It'll dry. It'll dry. I didn't think that part through. That's okay. Maybe my chalk needed a little bit of a bath. So this is where it really helps to have like your little stick in there. Okay, see, you can see the a little bit hard for you to see my YouTube friends. You can see the color coming in. There you go. This guy is definitely gonna have to get a little bit more shape. You know what? Should we go crazy and see if I can color the top some with green? This might mess it up, but this might be fun. I'm gonna do it. This is how I end up working on projects and and taking forever. So I'm like, oh, let's try this. But I think that's the fun part of art It's just taking a second to see if something will work. Of course, let's do it on the back side, because then if it's like totally gross, it won't work out. But oh, I'm feeling it. Oh yeah. Look at that. Let's go ahead and do that. Oh yeah. Look at that. We got a little bit of our green. It looks a little gross though. It looks a little gross. So you could do that on the body. Get the body all messed up and gross. Definitely feel like a little bit of green clay would have elevated the piece, the example, a little bit better, but I haven't been able to get out to a craft store. It's a little bit easier to be like, oh, I forgot something. Let me go ahead and get that. But I now have everything delivered. So, all right, let's fix our mouth. Oh, now he's really looking. I think the limbs are gonna finish it off, and then we'll stick them next to our zombie strawberry guy. So I'm gonna go back and redo the seeds. Let's go ahead and take our wire and make little arms. So my process in making arms, I'll have our guy here. It's a little bit more complicated because I use a product from Smooth On so that I can bend them around and have the black arms that we typically use. But this will be a good alternative, I think, for using something that you have at home. Oh, it's a tiny arm. Okay, I'm just sticking it directly in there. So we have so far. There you go. Oh, that one's a little too long. Okay, now we're getting a little misshapen. So go ahead and, use your little base. And let's go ahead and add our little seeds back in. How many toothpicks do you think you go through a year? Oh, I actually don't go through as many as I think. Maybe like 2 packs of toothpicks. It depends on if I'm doing like a workshop. So then I go through a lot more. But because typically I'm just using my needle tool, and I'll use my toothpicks to mix stuff. So I'm not using that much, but whenever I'm doing a workshop, I think it's just easier to use materials that you have around. So here you go, our little guy. He's a little bit different. Let's move next to the one in Bites of Terror. I think I would be a little bit more terrified if our strawberry today attacked me versus the one for Bites of Terror. This one looks almost tame and friendly compared to this blob. So definitely, if you want more detail, try Primo. But you know what? If you're just having fun, let me turn you up here, YouTube. If you're just having fun and you're trying to play with something tangible, which is always exciting when people are discovering clay for the first time, then you know what? Like, don't take yourself seriously. Just have fun with it. Try and get 2 colors of clay. I think that'll make it pop a bit more. But here's one guy that I did earlier with black eyes. So he looks a little spooky. You can also take markers. I have markers here and add some details. So whatever you want to do, but this is stuff that Walking Red. Rick, I knew you would have a joke. So this is just, stuff you just get the clay, look at what you have around your house, and try and tell a story out of it. That's what I like to do. Oh, and also, when you get that packaging foam, since we're getting everything delivered, just reuse it for a diorama. And that's when you can just see our guys just in there with a toothpick. So, it's like, this is how you shoot it. It looks like a full scene. And then when I show you all of it, you're like, oh, you can see all the not so pretty side. But this is what you only need to show. And then you'll look like a master artist. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for making zombie strawberries with me. This was based on our book, Bites of Terror, which is out now with Quirk Books. Also, since it's SPX weekend, we are doing like a little special. Oh, I love it. It's this book. Oh, look, I'm just surrounded by books. We're doing a special where if you get the book off our Etsy, then we're giving you free scratch and sniff card. This is limited edition. Some of the smells are beautiful, yummy, delicious. Some of them are not so much. Not everybody makes it through the card. So if you're risky, you love taking risks, then definitely get the book, get the card, and we're also including a signed book plate in there. We'll personalize it for you. So guys, if you have any questions about clay, always please feel free to email me or just reach out. We're at Cuddles and Rage everywhere, cuddlesandrage@gmail.com, and you can check us out at cuddlesandrage.com. Basically, look up Cuddles and Rage and you'll find us. But I love answering your questions about writing, art, whatever, maybe even a life question. I try and answer everything as honestly as possible. So guys, please go enjoy your SPX weekend. They have tons of live panels. So just look up Small Press Expo and go to their programming site, and then you'll see what they have scheduled out this weekend, which I know that I am going to tune in for, if it hasn't already happened, the one on horror and comics. That's huge. And then the other one on contracts, which I think if you want to be a writer, then you definitely got to know your contracts. So go check out those. And guys, have a lovely weekend. And thank you for spending time with me making zombie stories. Bye, guys. Okay, I'm ending the YouTube stream first because I'm just so comfortable with you guys on Instagram.